Good evening and welcome to the 2019-2020 Three Harbors Council Recharter Training. With this training, we plan to provide you insight on how to use the online rechartering system effectively and provide you information on how to make this process easier for you. So let's get started. As of this evening, recharter paperwork is available to everyone. Recharter paperwork and the ability to log on to the online rechartering system is available 3 months prior to your renewal date. Ideally, you're working on the process throughout that time frame and have completed the online process, obtained the necessary signatures and payment, and submitted all recharter paperwork, applications, and payment to either of the Council Service Centers by the 15th of the month prior to your renewal date. Some districts provide specific turn-in opportunities, so check with your unit commissioner or your district professional staff to see if your district has a recharter turn-in date. There are several items that you need to make sure are completed before turning in your recharter. First, while the system may give you the option to pay online, for this year's recharter cycle only, we ask that you not make your payment through the online system, and we'll explain why later in this presentation. Recharter paperwork must be signed by the named individuals. The terms executive officer and institutional head are interchangeable, and only that person should be signing as the executive officer of the unit. The unit leader is the Cub Master, Scoutmaster, Crew Leader, or Skipper. The council representative's signature line is signed by your district executive. It is not necessary that you get the signature prior to turning in your recharter at either service center. Your district executive can sign it when they are next in the office if you do not obtain that signature in advance of turning in your recharter. Payment must accompany your paperwork. Since we are adjusting recharter dates for many units this year, the total that you see in online rechartering will not be correct if your current charter expires on any date other than December 31st, 2019. Please allow our registrar time to adjust the charter period for your unit to calculate the proper prorated fees to adjust your unit's recharter cycle appropriately. Finally, applications must accompany the recharter for any new youth or adults added through the online rechartering process. Our goal is to have all recharters turned in on time. Remember, if your charter is late, you're jeopardizing opportunities for your members as they will not be covered by BSA insurance during scouting events, including regular meetings and campouts. We will not be able to properly track advancement for your youth in our database, nor will you be able to track Scouts in Scout Book, and any youth who are subscribed to Boys Life will no longer receive their magazine. Please do everything you can to make sure you are rechartering on time. Now, as a reminder about some things that have not changed since last year, number one, all adults must have completed and be current on their youth protection training to register or re-register with the BSA. The newest version of youth protection training debuted on February 1st, 2018, so many adults will be coming due soon. If you delay your recharter past their youth protection renewal dates, that may cause added delay to processing your recharter if they are in key leadership roles in the unit. Please remind your leaders to renew their youth protection training and do your part in getting your recharter done on time. Secondly, Three Harbors Council introduced a $2 insurance recovery fee last year. That remains in place again this year. It is only collected during a recharter for all renewing youth and adult members. There are several things that are new this year. We want to highlight each of those so you're very familiar with all of these adjustments. First, we are adjusting unit recharters to coincide across the council. With a few summer-specific program exceptions, all unit charters will be adjusted this year to expire on December 31st of each year moving forward. For those units that recharter in December, there is effectively no change in timing or process for you. Units that have rechartered in January will renew for 11 months, and units that have rechartered in February will renew for 10 months. Membership fees will be prorated for those units with shorter terms. In October 2020, every unit in the council will need to be prepared to begin the rechartering process, as all recharters will be due in December of 2020 for the 2021 year. As you likely know by now, the National BSA announced new membership fees near the end of October. Youth and Cub Scouts, Scouts BSA, and Venturing will pay a $60 annual BSA membership fee. Adult leaders will pay a $36 annual BSA membership fee. The unit charter fee also increased to $60 per year. These fees become effective on January 1st, 2020. Since each recharter you are working on right now becomes effective on or after January 1st, 2020, you will need to collect membership fees at the new fee levels. Also, we request that you do not pay any recharter fees online this year only. This will allow us to make adjustments to charter periods and calculate appropriate fees. With regard to youth membership fees, we put the slide together to help you understand the total fees you should be collecting from families within your unit to cover membership fees and the council insurance recovery fee. For charters expiring in December, you should pay $62. For charters expiring in January, that total comes to $57. And finally, for charters expiring in February, you should pay $52 this year. Boys Life still remains $12 for a yearly subscription. And looking at adult membership fees, we put a similar slide together for you for adult membership fees and the council insurance recovery fee. For charters expiring in December, adults should pay $38. For those charters expiring in January, adults should pay $35. And for charters expiring in February, adults should pay $32 this year. There is no fee to register in Cub Scouts as a Lion or Tiger adult partner. If you have an adult leader that is registered in multiple positions in other units, he/she pays the membership fee in only one place as their primary registration. All other registrations are considered multiple registrations, which do not require additional membership fee payment. And again, as a reminder, the annual unit charter fee increases to $60 per unit starting in 2020. Also back in October, every registered leader with the BSA for which we have a working email address received an email from National BSA informing them about criminal background recheck information and the disclosure form required during this year's recharter cycle to conduct that recheck in order to remain a registered leader with the BSA. For those individuals without a valid email, the disclosure forms are available on the council website and in hard copy at district meetings and at both our service centers. In order to remain a registered leader with the BSA, every registered adult must sign and submit a background recheck form. To make this as efficient as possible, signed recheck disclosure forms should be submitted to the recharter processor in your unit, and all recheck forms should be submitted with the recharter paperwork in one package from the unit. If individual disclosure forms are submitted to either service center separate from the recharter paperwork, we will match up those forms to the proper unit as quickly as possible. Adult leaders choosing not to submit a recheck authorization form will not be re-registered with the BSA. There is no way to opt out of submitting this form and remaining registered with the BSA. A new position, unit participant, has been introduced for registration in troops. This position is for 18 to 20-year-old youth continuing to work on Scouts BSA advancement to Eagle. Any youth registering as a unit participant must submit an adult application, receive a background check, and complete youth protection training. All members of the BSA 18 years of age and older are registered as adults, even if they are still eligible to participate as youth in the Scouts BSA or Venturing programs. So now that we've gone through the changes for this year, let's take a look at going through the online recharter process. First, you'll want to determine the key individuals that will help you through this process. Someone in the unit needs to take charge of facilitating and processing the recharter. Ideally, this should be the committee chair or someone from the unit committee appointed by the committee chair. Your unit commissioner is a district-level volunteer who can answer many of the questions you may have about the recharter process. And finally, your district professional can help you make sure that all of the necessary steps are completed and paperwork is submitted correctly to ensure smooth processing of your recharter once the paperwork is in one of our service centers. On occasion, there may be things missing or that need to be adjusted before finally processing and posting the recharter that people don't catch until it goes to be posted by our registrar. In those cases, your district professional will contact you as quickly as possible to work with you to address whatever may not be complete on the recharter to help you get the final pieces. Please remember that there are membership rules and regulations that need to be followed to ensure the integrity and validity of every member of our units. You play a key role in working with the commissioners and professional staff to ensure the prompt and correct membership of your unit. I would encourage you to check out my.scouting.org to review the many tips and tools that you can use to print membership cards, update training records, track unit membership, and view other membership information about your unit. Now, before logging on to the rechartering system, make sure you have a plan to make this process as easy as possible. Number one, inventory your unit membership. Confirm members that are remaining or dropping. Number two, identify new members and collect applications and registration fees for new members. New adults should also provide proof of completion of youth protection training. By turning in all new member applications prior to starting the online recharter process to a council service center, council staff will enter those new members so they appear on your roster when you log on to start the online rechartering process. It is strongly recommended that you provide council staff at least 48 to 72 business hours to enter all new members. While new membership is often entered much quicker than that, this time accounts for unexpected delays due to possible sickness, weather delays, or other circumstances that may delay membership entry. Number four, make sure to identify any leadership changes within the unit. Who will be replacing those key leader roles in the unit? Number five, once your key leader roles are filled, you need to confirm leadership roles for all other adults in the unit. And six, confirm that all adults have completed and are current on youth protection training. If you have any adults that are coming due on youth protection training, it is strongly recommended that they renew their training as soon as possible. Online rechartering access codes are available at the roundtable 3 months prior to your renewal date. December recharter codes are available at the October roundtable, January codes at the November roundtable, and February recharter codes at the December roundtable. You can log on to the online rechartering system at the time you receive your recharter code. If your district is conducting a formal recharter turn-in, you will receive that turn-in date at the same time you'll receive your recharter packet and access code. When you have completed the pre-planning steps, reviewed a few slides ago, you can log on by going to the Three Harbors Council website. Click on the Resource tab, float over Recharter on the drop-down menu, and click on that. When the Recharter page loads, click on Recharter Online Now. You'll find other resources on this webpage to help you with online rechartering. Please make sure that you are processing the recharter through a supported web browser. Please note that Mac computers are not supported for online rechartering. Pictured here is a snapshot of the 3 clicks you'll need to make on the Three Harbors Council website to get to the online rechartering system. You'll see number 1 is resources, number 2, recharter, and finally number 3, the Recharter Online Now button. When you've logged on to the online system for the first time, you'll be asked to upload a roster to begin the online recharter process. You can choose to use the council information from ScoutNet or upload a file from Scoutbook or your third-party membership files if you use third-party software. It's your decision as to which source you use. If you use third-party files, you may need to take some time to reconcile your records with the online system. After selecting which roster to load, you can update information, select members to renew, add members, update positions, and ensure non-members are removed. Because there are many systems that interact with each other, it's important that the information you input is consistent across all platforms. When updating and inputting information differently in online rechartering, slight variations in input from online rechartering, when loaded against Scoutbook or other systems, may create additional profiles or missing information for your members. When entering names, it's important to use an individual's legal name. While many of our youth may go by a middle name or a nickname, entering their name as such and not by their legal name may cause problems later with verifying advancement or council camping or event registration. Online rechartering does allow you to update incorrect contact information. You can change grades for a youth, but do not update grades. This is an automatic function of the BSA registration system later in the year. After you've gone through the member lists and ensure that all remaining members are included and contact information is updated, you can move on to the next stages and update member fees and add Boys Life to members that don't already have it if they want it. There's a survey requesting the reason for each youth that is leaving your unit. You have a menu of options to select from to indicate their reason for leaving. Once you've double-checked everything after updating fees and completing the dropped youth survey, you can submit your recharter. Please note that if you print your recharter at the stage where the system says submit to council and don't advance past that stage, you have not actually completed online rechartering. You should print the recharter after it is submitted to then obtain the signatures of the executive officer and unit leader. If you would rather process the approvals online, that option is available to you as well. You do have the option to have all signatures processed electronically. The chartered organization representative and unit leader can process electronic approval of the recharter without printing the paperwork yourself. If you choose to do so, follow the prompts in the online rechartering system to acquire approvals this way. If you do this, both individuals must process online approvals. If one or the other cannot or will not do online approval, do not select the online approval option. If you do process approvals from the chartered organization representative and unit leader online, and you have new members, you still need to turn in those applications for new members to either of our council service centers to be on file at the council office. While online payment may be available through the system this year, in 2020 only, we are requesting that no payments be made online. Fees will need to be paid at the council office via check or unit account authorization. This will allow our registrar to adjust charter cycles for our units moving to a December recharter date to be adjusted to the proper prorated fees. Thank you in advance for not making payment online during this recharter cycle. Once you've arrived at the online rechartering system page, the first time you log in, you will need to log in as a first-time user, even if you've processed the unit recharter online in the past. The system renews each year, so each year the system views this process as new the first time you log in. Please do not use old codes or try to log in as a returning user the first time you log in. The system will give you an error response. After establishing your profile for this year's recharter, you can follow the prompts in the online system to complete your recharter. If for some reason you need to log out, you can do so and return to where you left off when you log back in. When returning to complete the recharter, you can now log on as a returning user. Upon completing the online rechartering process, it is important that you complete it all the way to the end. Stage 4 and Stage 5 look very similar in the system, but you must submit the recharter online at the end of Stage 4. If you believe you are complete with the online portion of your recharter, print your recharter paperwork and it says draft version and does not have lines for the executive officer, unit leader, and council representative to sign, you are at Stage 4 and you have not submitted your recharter. Go to the online rechartering system to submit your recharter. Once you've properly submitted your recharter, print every page of your recharter paperwork. If you've added members, they will appear on page 1 of your recharter paperwork. Page 2 will be the page on which you need to obtain executive officer and unit leader signatures. If you have not added any members, page 1 will be the signature page. Obtain the signatures of the named executive officer and unit leader. There should not be signatures of anyone other than those individuals on those lines. Once the signature page is signed, gather the printed recharter paperwork with the signature page, any new member applications and necessary training verifications, and appropriate fees and/or unit account authorization. Remember, for 2020 recharters, please include criminal background recheck disclosures for all registered adults. Also, if your unit recharter is due in January or February of 2020, please have a check prepared to make payment, but do not complete the amount in the check until our registrar has had a chance to adjust the charter date to calculate the appropriate prorated fees. There are certain adult leadership positions that are required for Unit 2 charter. A chartered organization representative is required. This is the only position that can be at multiple registration within a unit. The COR can also serve as the committee chair of the unit or as a committee member of the unit. By BSA bylaws and membership registration rules, the chartered organization representative must be the same person for all units within the chartered organization, regardless of the number of units chartered at that organization. The executive officer / institutional head is a non-paid position and does not require an application. However, if the institutional head / executive officer chooses to be registered in another leadership role in the unit, he or she must complete an adult application and youth protection training and pay the appropriate registration fee for that position. All other leadership roles in the unit are registered as one person, one position. In a Cub Scout pack, you must have the following minimum membership to start and/or maintain a unit during a recharter. Number 1, the institutional head, the charter organization representative, a committee chair, a Cub master. You need to have at least 2 committee members, or there's a combination of valid committee registrations that can fulfill both of those committee member registrations. You need to have at least 1 den leader at any age level of the program. You must have at least 5 youth members, and if any youth members are lions or tigers, you are required to have an adult partner for each lion and tiger. Additional roles can be filled within a Cub Scout pack beyond those required to recharter the unit. This is a list of some of those positions available. For lion and tiger adult partners, no adult application is required for an adult partner living at the same physical address of the youth, and no registration fee is required of adult partners. Adult partners living at a different physical address of the youth must complete an adult application and youth protection training. No registration fee is charged. If an adult partner registered chooses to register in a leadership role in the pack, he or she must complete an adult application, youth protection training, and pay the appropriate registration fee for that position. Please ensure that all of your Arrow of Light Scouts that are crossing over to Scouts BSA remain registered with the pack long enough for the Arrow of Light paperwork to be turned in and processed while the youth is still in Cub Scouts. Once that paperwork has been entered and recording that they have earned the Arrow of Light, the youth can transfer to a troop. If the youth is crossed over to Scouts BSA before entering the Arrow of Light information, we cannot enter that advancement information later for those youth. In a Scouts BSA troop, venturing crew, or Sea Scout ship, you must have the following minimum membership to start and/or maintain a unit during a recharter. Again, the institutional head, a charter organization representative, a committee chair. For a Scouts BSA troop, a scoutmaster. For a venturing crew, a crew advisor. For a Sea Scout ship, a Sea Scout skipper. You must have at least 2 committee members, or again, a valid combination of committee registrations, and you must have at least 5 youth members. Again, there are additional positions available for adults within a Scouts BSA troop, venturing crew, or Sea Scout ship. These are some of those. Please note that they are specific to the level program, so you will not find an assistant scoutmaster as a registration in a venturing crew or a associate advisor as a registration available in a Scouts BSA troop. All individuals 18 years of age or older must complete an adult application and youth protection training and undergo a background check. However, for 18 to 20-year-olds registering as unit participants in a Scouts BSA troop, and for all 18 to 20-year-olds in venturing in Sea Scouts, they may participate as youth in these programs with specific participant codes in the BSA registration system. There are several reasons why the online system may give you an error or why the Council may not be able to finish processing your unit's recharter. Some of the most common are, number 1, missing or incomplete applications for new members. Number 2, unidentified adult leadership positions in the unit. Number 3, the recharter paperwork is not signed. Number 4, recharter payment is not included or is not correct. While this is not at all a complete list of every reason why recharter processing may be delayed, these are among the most common reasons, and your effort to address these prior to turning in your recharter paperwork greatly increases the chances of smooth and timely processing of your recharter. On the signature page, the required signatures are those of the executive officer, unit leader, and council representative. If the executive officer has changed, you may cross out the name on that page and write in new information for the new executive officer. Please include the new executive officer's birth date in addition to the new name and any other updated information. In your recharter packet, you have a copy of the annual charter agreement. This needs to be completed during a meeting of the executive officer, charter organization representative, and district professional staff member. It is not required that you submit this with your recharter. You are welcome to do so, but it is not required in order to process your recharter. Also included in your recharter packet is a copy of the current year's Journey to Excellence form. We're asking that every unit complete and submit their Journey to Excellence form by January 15th, 2020, regardless of your recharter month. Journey to Excellence is a calendar year program, and we want to make sure every unit deserving recognition is promptly recognized for their accomplishments over the year. Journey to Excellence forms may be submitted to your unit commissioner to give to your district professional, or you may give them directly to your district professional. In addition to this slideshow and webinar, there are other resources that are available on the Council website as well as on the National BSA website and at my.scouting.org. This slideshow and webinar will be available on the Council website at the address you see at the top of this slide as well. With that, I want to say thank you for taking the time to watch this. If you have any questions, I would encourage you to contact your unit commissioner or your district executive. You can also reach out to any of the staff at the Three Harbors Council to support your efforts in making sure that your unit's recharter is turned in on time. Again, thank you and have a good evening.